Julian Alvarez is leaving Manchester City to Atletico Madrid. Now, there are some sources claiming the deal is done already for 80 million, such as this source, which is a Spanish news outlet. Don't know how reliable it is. I don't speak Spanish. And also, Fabrizio Romano, claims 75 million euros, not pounds. Mind you, these are euros, not pounds. So 80 million euros is 68.5 million pounds. So quite a bit of money. He's claiming 75 million pounds with add-ons. Don't know quite which it is, but the important thing to note is Alvarez is almost certainly done. Romano is saying here, working to get it done today. It's already done. And here's the thing with Romano. He's often given information from inside of the club, but that comes at the cost of the club will often ask him to not announce any players before the official club announcement. So Romano could be well aware that Alvarez has already signed and is just stalling it out because he's not allowed to make the official Alvarez has signed for the Atletico announcement yet. That's entirely possible, so do keep that in mind. Whichever the case, Alvarez to Atletico Madrid, even if it isn't done, it will be done by the end of the day. Let's be honest here. He is going. So, actually, we'll get to this later. Before we talk about how instrumental the transfer this is with Alvarez, I just want to bring up João Felix, who was part of the initial offer that Atletico Madrid made. We rejected this offer. So, what was this offer? It was Atletico Madrid was going to buy Alvarez for 60 million, I believe, and loan us João Felix. This was not... Manchester City was not interested. We don't want João Felix on loan or on permanent basis. So, we said no, and this transfer deal with the 75 million euros, 80 million euros, whatever you want to believe here, that is a different deal. This does not include João Felix on loan. So, with that said, before I get into how instrumental of a transfer this is, why? Why are people like this? Alvarez has been great for Manchester City, and he's deserved a move. Alvarez is a great striker. I think people will realize next season Alvarez is one of the top 5 strikers in the world. He deserves to have some game time, doesn't he? Why are you like this? Come on. Biggest mistake he is going to make. What? Going to a big club where he'll get game time? Come on, man. He can't get a game at Manchester City. What is he supposed to do? Some people are just unreasonable, aren't they? Anyhow. Now, Alvarez, how is that going to affect our transfer strategy going forward? Because I think that's an important one. It's going to be quite influential, I believe. Now that Alvarez is gone, let's say 80 million euros, 68.5 million pounds. What do we do with that money? Because we know the club initially said, Pep said, nobody comes in unless somebody leaves. Well, somebody is leaving now. Are we bringing somebody in? We could be bringing in a defensive midfielder. We could be promoting a youngster to be the defensive midfielder and buy an attacking midfielder or something like that. Maybe Dani Olmo, somebody who can play false 9 and attacking midfield. Maybe that's what we're looking for. João Felix was, I suppose, the idea for Atletico Madrid, giving us that false 9 midfielder player. But we want a false 9 attacking midfielder of quality. I suppose Atletico Madrid was lost on that part. But that's alright with them. They got the deal done by offering us more money and not being coy anymore with it. So Alvarez, now leaving, we need to get somebody in to replace him, I reckon. Is that going to be McAtee? Are we gonna buy somebody to replace him? I don't quite know, but we can't get a striker to replace him, right? Because here's the problem with buying a striker. Let's say Ivan Toney, right? Ivan Toney comes in at Manchester City, looks around, sees Erling Haaland. Yeah, I'm going to get game time ahead of him. Sorry, Ivan, you're not. You're not gonna get game time ahead of Erling Haaland. Not gonna happen. We can't buy a pure striker. We've got to buy a striker who can either play on the wing, Ferran Jutla, or we buy a false nine who can play as a midfielder, Dani Olmo. And those are just two suggestions. There are a lot of strikers out there who can play on the wing. There's a lot of midfielders out there who can play as a false nine. And I'd prioritize a midfielder who can play as false nine than a false nine who can play as midfielder. If you get what I'm saying, because like I prefer them being a midfielder first. Because he will be coming in to rotate with Kevin De Bruyne, who is of course getting old. Legs are gone. It happens when you're that old. Now I actually believe, this is completely unrelated to the video now, but let me end the video on this, yeah? I believe that Kevin De Bruyne can actually play another 3 or 4 years at the highest level. He just can't play a lot of minutes anymore. I think if you give him 60 minutes once a week, he can do that, he can handle it, as long as you manage his body well in training. And 60 minutes every week, that can be instrumental. Let's say that's 60 minutes against Real Madrid, and he scores a winner. Those 60 minutes can be instrumental, and 60 minutes is sometimes all De Bruyne needs to make a big difference. For this coming season, I think he can probably play another 90 minutes every week, but we certainly can't be playing him 90 minutes 3 times a week anymore. He just can't do that anymore. Anyhow, that's where I'll end the video on. Thank you for watching to the end. Please like and subscribe if you're new around the channel. Helps out a bunch. And tell me down below in the comments what you think about Alvarez leaving. If you think he should not have left, or who do you think we should replace him with? I'm going to do a stream later today, I believe, on who I should, or like what Alvarez leaving really means, because there's so much we can get into about how we replace him with Wu. There's just so many options that are now open in my opinion. So I'll do an entire stream on that. But that's for later today. Yeah, so thank you for watching to the end. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.